My days in heaven on earth at 2/3. Cece was naked. Her hair was messy like a ghost, and her head was bent. He was curled up in the corner of the bed, holding a piece of broken glass in his hand. I rushed over and snatched the thing from her hand. I was so scared that I couldn't speak. Cece was stunned when she saw me. Then she threw herself into my arms naked, crying and saying, "Rose, you are finally here. Please take me home." I don't know if you have ever had this feeling, that is, trying very hard to do something well, wanting to protect something, but in the end, it turns out that in this world, it is not that you will definitely do it well if you are willing to work hard, and it is not that someone you want to protect will not be hurt. It is a kind of despair, a powerless despair. Cece hugged me and cried bitterly, sobbing and telling me that Nan pretended to be drunk last night and coaxed her here, but his true colors showed up as soon as he entered the house. She began to struggle desperately, but he was too strong. She was in so much pain that she cried and begged him, but he not only ignored her, but also tortured her in various ways. She wanted to die at that time, and finally she didn't even have the strength to cry, and just wanted to get through it quickly. But this bastard with a beastly heart tortured her all night, and didn't let her go. Cece was angry and resentful. She smashed the lamp, picked up a piece of broken glass, and put it on her neck, saying that if he didn't let her go, she would die here. Nan was a little scared, but didn't want to let Cece go back, so he took her cell phone and called me. Cece hugged me and cried again, saying that she was scared and asked me to take her home. But I knew that Nan asked me to come because he didn't want her to go back. I am a timid woman, really. Even if I once had the courage of a newborn calf that is not afraid of a tiger, it has long been worn away by reality. But I don't know why, at this moment, something similar to courage suddenly emerged in my heart. I said, "Don't be afraid, Cece. Let's go home." Now, when I think back to the scene at that time, it is all vivid, and I feel very uncomfortable. I know that many people don't believe that there is such an unfair thing in this world, and don't believe that rich people would rape female college students. However, what I want to tell you is that everything under the sun is beautiful, but there are countless shadows behind the sun. We are women who live in the shadows. Compared with other women who hang out in nightclubs, Cece is unfortunate, or she went to the wrong place. But many things are like this, one wrong step, all wrong. I am very sad. Sorry, everyone, I don't want to say anything today. As I said, just treat it as a story so that we will be fine. I will tell it as a story so that I will be more calm. Those kind people, thank you for your blessings to me and Cece. Good people will have a peaceful life, and I wish you happiness. It took me a long time to read all the replies today. I really didn't expect that it would attract so much attention. This made me a little nervous. At first, I just wanted to find a place to talk, that's all. But I didn't expect that it would attract so many speculations. Many friends sent me short messages on Tianya. Some cared, some despised, some teased. Sorry, I won't respond to them one by one. Friends who cared about me and wished me well, I kept your words in my heart. Friends who despised me and teased me, I can understand your contempt and curiosity for women like us. The reason why I didn't respond to them one by one is that I just want to find a place to talk and don't want to bring too much trouble to myself. I hope everyone can understand. Jing hao gong hao. Lao zhang ruji zhengli fabo questions and speculations. I have said that I will not respond to them one by one. Everyone just listen to it as a story. I said that this way I will be more relaxed, calmer, and have fewer concerns. Sorry, I can't explain many names, places, and details in detail. Everyone knows the reason. As I said, if you like it, please read it silently, and if you don't like it, please ignore it. I just want to finish writing it and talk out the depression in my heart. Otherwise, I don't know how to face my future. I don't know if you have ever had this feeling, that is, the feeling of wanting to talk about something but having nowhere to talk. But once you start talking, you don't want to stop. I said that I have been hurt, cried, and laughed, and then I felt relieved. Cece was really miserable that day. Her underwear was torn by Nan, but she could still wear it after making do. The joint of the bra strap broke and couldn't be worn. I found her skirt and asked her to put it on, then put my coat on her. The cut on her hand was not very deep, so I took a handkerchief and wrapped it for her. Cece felt the pain at that moment. I helped her out of that terrible bedroom, helped her downstairs, and saw Nan sitting outside, looking at us very deeply. I felt Cece was shivering from the bottom of her heart. I was also shaking with anger, but my voice was particularly calm. I said to Nan, "Cece's hand is injured. We need to go to the hospital now. We'll talk about it later." Nan looked at us and said slowly, "Then let's go together. It's not convenient for you two women." Cece held my hand like sifting chaff, and she seemed about to explode. I shook her hand back firmly. "Silly girl. Whether you call the police or report anything, you have to get out of here first before you can make any plans, right?" I said to Nan, "It's not a serious injury, so let's go by ourselves. You don't want to push Cece too hard, right? I promise you, when she calms down, I will definitely persuade her." Nan looked at me, then at Cece, and nodded silently. I breathed a sigh of relief. Just as we turned around, Nan said again, "Rose, if you really care about Cece, don't encourage her to call the police. Let me tell you something you don't want to hear. Who are you and who am I? It's useless for you to call the police. If this matter is exposed, your future life will be miserable. You are smart people. Think about it yourself. If I had a gun in my hand, I think I would definitely shoot him. Unfortunately, I don't have one. There is only a girl who is as helpless as me, and I have to take care of her." Cece's lips trembled with anger after hearing this. I squeezed her hard again and dragged her away. When we got in the taxi, I asked her, "Are you going to sue him? If you say you will, let's go ahead and sue him. It doesn't matter if he is the king of heaven or the king of hell. Let's go all out." Cece trembled all over and fell silent, without saying another word. We disinfected her hand in the hospital. The doctor said it was not very deep and did not need stitches, but in order to avoid infection, we still bandaged her hand and prescribed some anti-inflammatory drugs for her. When I came back with the medicine, I saw Cece curled up on a chair in the corridor, with her head down, and I didn't know what she was thinking. She looked so small, just a tiny ball, and the world around her was so big and empty. After returning home, Cece said she wanted to take a shower and asked me if I could help her boil some hot water. I was stunned for a moment and said, "Cece, have you thought about it? If you wash it, everything will be washed away, and there will be no evidence." Cece's eyes turned red and she choked and said, "I know, but Rose, I am unlucky, but I can't let you get involved. Besides, even if we sue, we can't win the case. He planned it all. He always picked me up these days. My classmates think he is my boyfriend. And who is my identity? Who would believe him if he said he raped me? He is right. I admit it." I didn't say anything else, and Cece didn't say anything else. I boiled water silently and poured it into the bathtub for her. I watched her take off her clothes and sit in it, washing herself clean bit by bit. I saw that she was crying from beginning to end, and her tears never stopped, but she cried without any sound. After Cece took a bath, I wiped her clean with a towel. There were several blue and purple spots on her body, either from collisions or scratches. We all think that people are people, not animals. But in fact, sometimes people are worse than animals. I found some contraceptive pills I had left over for Cece, the kind used for after action. After she finished taking them, I asked her if she was hungry and wanted to eat something. Cece shook her head and lay on the bed with her eyes closed. I put down my water cup and saw the street lights outside the window. At that time, I was thinking, how come the night in this city always comes so quickly? We didn't go to work that day. I left the house and called my supervisor to ask for leave. I was so anxious that I didn't want to go back to the house, so I just wandered outside. Who knew that I would receive a call soon after? It was an unfamiliar number. I picked up the phone, and the Lord's voice came out very clearly and domineeringly. "Come here, right now." It happened to be today. He was really a lord. I took a taxi and came to the villa where I came last time. When I rang the doorbell, my heart was still beating, and I kept wondering what the Lord wanted me to do. He came to open the door in a yukata, which looked a bit like a Japanese kimono. When he saw me, He pointed his mouth inward, meaning for me to come in, and then he went into the house without paying any attention to me. I was stunned for a moment, then followed him in. There was a small bar in the villa. He opened the wine cabinet, poured himself a glass of wine, and pointed to the stairs. Go upstairs to take a shower. Huh. I guess my mouth was as big as an egg. Don't understand? What did you eat to grow up? This is a rich and powerful young master, as domineering as a bastard. I was in a bad mood that day, but I could only endure it. What else could I do? I don't have as much money as he does. I don't have as much power as he does. My father is not as powerful as his, and I can't beat him. Let alone scolding me. Even if he kicks me in the heart, I have to endure it. I didn't dare to say a word, and went upstairs in shame, took a shower in the bathroom, and when I came out, Lord was already sitting outside. I thought he would do the same as last time, and let me lie down directly. Who knew that he actually asked with great interest that day? Can you play Ice and Fire? Yes. I whispered, but the technical content is not good enough. After all, I am a sitting person, and I don't have much practical experience. He pointed to the ice bucket and teacup on the table and said very lordly, "Come on. This man is very clean." This is my first impression that day. Most men have a fishy smell, but he doesn't. Only a faint mint shower gel smell, which makes me feel a little better. He sat on the bed, and I could only kneel on the carpet with my body bent to serve him. I first held ice water in my mouth and pumped it for a while, and then changed it to hot water while the water was still warm. It is said that an expert can make sure not a drop of water leaks out, and the tongue can also turn back and forth, making the guest very comfortable. #official account. Lao Zhuang diary compilation and release. I couldn't do it, so water kept flowing out from the corners of my mouth. He kept doing this several times, getting more and more excited, and finally, he simply stood up, grabbed my hair, and pumped himself violently back and forth. When he came, my mouth was a little numb. He grabbed my hair, and I couldn't dodge, so his whole thing went into my mouth. I felt unbearable nausea, so I pushed him away without thinking and rushed into the bathroom, where I had the most intimate contact with a flushing toilet. I didn't eat anything the whole day, and I almost vomited bile. I felt very sad at that time. I was not sad because a man played with me like this, not because Cece was raped, not because after I vomited I was played with by a man I hated and feared so much. Why? I don't know myself. I just wanted to cry. I really cried. I squatted there and cried until I couldn't breathe. I only had one thought at that time. I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to go home. Fuck the capital. Fuck the Lord. Can't I just quit? Even if I go home and sell cabbages, it's better than suffering like this here. What am I doing here? Being tormented like this. Is it great to be rich and powerful? You are human beings, aren't we human beings? My mind was in a mess that day, and I was so anxious that it seemed like all the emotions I had been accumulating for years burst out. I hid in the bathroom alone, crying my heart out, and I didn't even notice that the Lord had come in. He grabbed my hair and dragged me under the shower. The water rushed down fiercely, choking me and making me cough. The water washed me clean, but also made me confused. My brain turned into a paste. I vaguely remember Lord pressing me against the glass wall of the bathroom, with that thing hard against me. I forgot what I said at the time, but I remember that I seemed to kick him hard. This bastard reached out and slapped me in the face, and then fucked me hard. When I say do it, I really mean do it, in a completely passive way. I struggled symbolically at first, but then I stopped. I just kept crying, not very loudly, but silently shedding tears. Looking back now, I can't remember a lot of the details. It's like I didn't experience it myself. It's like a dream, like I'm in another world. I cried so hard that I was confused. My body was on the ground, but my soul was in heaven. I just remember that I kept crying. That night, I seemed to have cried all the tears I hadn't shed in the past 20 years. The Lord gave me 40,000 that time. I don't know how he calculated it. According to his temper, he gave me 10,000 for a slap. So how did he calculate the remaining 30,000? 10,000 each time? On the way home with the money in my pocket, I looked at the tall buildings running past the window. My heart was empty at that time, nothing. The taxi driver turned on the radio and played an old song. You are fire. You are wind. You are the devil weaving a web. Broken, swallowtail butterfly, still have the last beautiful dream. You are fire. You are wind. You are the temptation of angels. Let me be, swallowtail butterfly, embrace the last beautiful dream. I still remember these two lyrics. I was so hypocritical at that time. I despised myself. I fucking cried when I heard it. It was already noon when I got home. I didn't see Cece when I entered the house. I was really nervous at that time, afraid that she would do something stupid. Later I saw a note on the table. She said that her fever had subsided and she went to class, so I didn't worry. I have always thought that Cece is a very strong girl, and I still think so now. She did not commit suicide, nor did she cry out to the heavens, nor did she throw herself into despair. Compared with me when I first entered the industry, I was a bear who was neither dead nor alive. She was much stronger. She was just silent, a helpless and sad silence, a silence of resignation, a silence that made people feel creepy. Haha, I agree with what some friends said. Indeed, I don't deserve sympathy. There are many ways out in life, but I was young and didn't understand. I always felt that the shortcut I took was just to make money. This world laughs at the poor, but not at prostitutes. Looking at the colorful world in front of me, I can earn colorful money by drinking a few glasses of wine with men and talking a few words. But this is like a bottomless abyss. Once you enter, it is difficult to get out. In fact, in such places, there are very few ladies who only sit on the stage and don't go out. Just like some friends said, if you walk by the river often, you'll get your shoes wet. Now I understand and regret it, but I can't get back the past time, nor can I get back my youth. I don't ask for anyone's sympathy. That part of my memory is like a scar that will never heal. Now I have to open it myself and let the pus and blood out. Although it hurts, no matter how big the pain is, it will heal one day. But if I hide the wound, it may never heal. The basis is true, but the OP is obviously exaggerating. In fact, there is a saying that the richer the person, the more low-key they are. There is no exaggeration in the scene. The one kneeling to serve as the princess, and those who beat people are indeed unreal and exaggerated. This kind of powerful and wealthy man will not be so direct. He will only ask for the phone number first and contact privately. It will not be so blatant. Although people in the officialdom like to play the scene, they are more afraid of being known that they play the scene. Lord is not an official. Officials from Beijing don't go to our place because they are too famous. Unless they are from other provinces, they're very low-key when they go there for fear of being recognized. Lord is a second-generation official from Beijing. It is said that he has been abroad and just returned to China during that time. In our place, it is indeed rare for people to beat others when drunk, so we were a little dazed that day. But we were unlucky. 1 in 1,000 happened to Cece. And it was this incident that changed the whole life of Cece and me. Thank you all for your concern. I don't want to say more today. Although I wrote very little, it was the most unbearable and painful part of myself. I feel exhausted. Again, thank you to all the friends who have blessed Cece and me. Your kindness has given me great comfort on this cold winter night. I would also like to thank those friends who mocked me. Your words were like knives piercing my heart and made me face more deeply the mistakes I had made. Thanks to my friends who are the same age as me. If you are young and beautiful, please remember not to be dazzled by the colorful world outside. For those friends who don't believe me but don't want to leave me, just listen to my story as I said. This way I feel safe, otherwise, I really can't continue writing. I don't know why everyone thinks my writing is good. I just checked Tianya, and there are many people like me. I am just writing about my own things, just like writing a diary in school. Again, I am just telling my own story. If you say it is true, then it is true. If you say it is false, then it is false. I don't care. If you think it's fake, then just treat it as a story. It's actually pretty good this way. You feel happy, and I feel at ease. I just want to write it down and talk about that experience. I haven't been sleeping well during this period, and my mind keeps going over and over what happened in the past period of time. If I don't say it out loud, it will follow me for the rest of my life. If I say it out loud, it will hurt, more than opening the scar, but I can now feel relieved. This is probably for my own protection. As I said before, it is hard for a woman who has worked in nightclubs to trust anyone. Cece is my only good friend in my life. Cece looked fine on the surface, but I knew she had changed. She couldn't cry or laugh anymore. She was like a piece of wood and didn't even groan when you pinched her. This incident was a big blow to Cece. Maybe you think she was being hypocritical. She should have thought about the consequences when she entered a nightclub. At this point, I have to explain that it is nonsense that the ladies in the place are chaste, but waiters, if you can resist the temptation, it is actually possible. Be quick, smile sweetly, and know how to read the eyes, and wealthy customers will still be willing to give more tips. Not every powerful second-generation official who comes here is as domineering as Lord, but Cece happened to be one of them. It was also because of that accident that I got involved with this person. Of course, that was what happened later. Just don't imagine there will be any love story here. Really, what happened to us later was very vulgar and bloody. Cece is really pitiful. I don't deny that she may have had some luck at first, thinking that she could make more money here. This is Beijing, a glamorous city. Who doesn't want to make more money? But she was completely passive in taking that path, or in other words, she had no control over it. She was pushed into that situation step by that man. If there was 1% of love fantasy in this, I would feel better, but unfortunately there wasn't. So I feel sorry for her, but I never feel sorry for myself. Just like some friends said, you choose your own path. No one owes you anything. In fact, now that I think about it, it was thanks to her strength during that time. If she had been crying with me every day, I really wouldn't have cared about her, because I was in a lot of trouble myself. During that period, the manager approached me several times, wanting to do that thing, but I refused. Then this bastard found fault with me every few days, nitpicking on me. He either complained that I was too slow, or that I ordered too few drinks, or that my makeup was so ugly that I looked like a dead person. Everyone understood what was going on. Our mom was very sensible. When she saw what was happening, she simply stopped taking me with her when she went on stage. Whenever a customer turned over my name, she would say that I had not arrived and would leave me sitting on the bench on the second floor, where I stayed for half a month. At that time, I thought it was boring. I had been very filial to my mother. In order to let her take care of me more, I would give her red envelopes every festival. It was not easy for me to make a little money. Although the tips given by the guests here were high, I was just sitting after all, and I could not compare with them lying. Now that I think about it, it was just like this in the end. She used me to fill the gap when she encountered a problem, and she probably felt very happy about it. The main source of income for our business is the tips given by customers and the commission on drinks. If you can't sit at the table, you can't make any money. I knew what he wanted to do, so I was very docile during that time, not making any noise or fuss. It wasn't because I had a plan in mind, but because I was very tired, too tired to deal with it. I didn't want to please him. I just wanted to take a breath and think about what was next. But people like us are always pushed by fate. You can't do whatever you want. That night, when I was hesitating between whether to continue to sit on my bench or to devote myself to it, my mommy told me that a customer had ordered me to sit on the stage and asked me to leave quickly. It was automatically unblocked. What a miracle. I was so happy to follow him, and after entering the room, I realized that it was not someone else who ordered me, but the Lord. What happened next was the same as usual, singing, drinking, and being taken out of the stage by him after the event. It was still the same place and the same method, but I didn't get any KJ anymore. I won't go into details, lest someone actually think it's a pornographic novel. But I didn't understand at that time why he always wanted to see me. I was pretty, but there were so many outstanding beauties in the place. There were also many who were more sensible and skilled than me. But I didn't dare to ask at that time, and he didn't say it. Just like last time, he vented his anger, threw money, and told me to get out. I didn't think much about it, took the money and left. Later, Lord once said that what he liked most about me was that I was responsible and self-aware. I absolutely agree with this. If someone like me still indulges in unrealistic thoughts, it would be a tragedy. In fact, there are quite a few people like me who indulge in unrealistic thoughts, but they usually don't end up well. No one takes prostitutes seriously, and it has always been like this. What do men take us for? To put it in a more literary way, a pair of jade arms is pillowed by thousands of people, and a little red lips is tasted by thousands of people. A prostitute's true love can only be found in tedious novels and silly TV dramas. In reality, anyone who talks about love is a complete fool. So I don't ask, never ask, can't ask, dare not ask. If I ask, I won't be able to live. During that time, I was busy with my own little things and didn't pay much attention to Cece. In fact, Cece didn't need my attention. Everything was normal in work, study, and life. This girl was too silent and tolerant, so I didn't know what happened to her during that time. Until one day, I came back from the internet cafe in the afternoon and found Cece lying on the bed, looking very tired and uncomfortable. I asked her if she was sick, but Cece ignored me. I felt something was wrong, so I went over to touch her face. Who knew that my hands were wet? I was anxious at that time and turned her around and asked, "Cece, what's wrong with you?" Cece sat up and hugged my neck, crying and saying, "Rose, what should I do? What should I do?" I blurted out without thinking, "That bastard messed with you again?" Cece hugged me and just cried. I understood from her expression, and I was so angry that I cursed. Damn it. We should have sued him in the first place, and shouldn't have let him get away with it. Cece cried and said to me, "Rose, I can't stand it anymore. I'm going crazy by him, but I can't do anything. He filmed me." I was confused at the time. Filmed by him? What does that mean? What did he film? Cece told me that the beast took her nude photos with his mobile phone on the night when she was raped in Nan. When I heard that, my mind was buzzing. Taking nude photos. He thought he was Edison Chen. I grabbed Cece and yelled, "Why didn't you tell me such a big thing earlier? You're so stupid." Then Cece said something to me with tears in her eyes, which made me completely silent. "Rose, what's the point of me telling you? If those photos are posted on the internet, I won't be able to graduate, and I won't even be able to work as a human being. He said that he would let me go when he got tired of me, so I have been putting up with him, but I don't know when he'll get tired of me." I was too naive. I always thought that I could live a decent life on my own. But today I found out that it's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. Not the case? Then what should be going on? At that moment, I found that I was confused. I couldn't see the direction of the future, and I didn't know what to stick to. I always thought that as long as Cece forgot the past, she could start over. As it turned out, I was wrong. I always thought that Cece would not follow the path of many girls who fall into nightclubs, but the facts prove that I seem to be wrong again. Lord once said that I am a little different from other women. I will not take ignorance as my personality, because in his eyes, all freedom in this world comes from money and power. If a person has no money and power, but still demands dignity and freedom from the whole world, then he is an ignorant fool. I admit it, so I accept it. I accept my fate more than Cece. Cece started to look haggard during that period, and then she became indifferent, but I don't know if she was really indifferent or just pretending to be indifferent to comfort me. But one thing to be thankful for is that Nan treated her better and better. Maybe Cece is more obedient than before. In my words, Cece began to accept her fate. When I looked at her at that time, I remembered myself back then. I had struggled before, foolishly wanting to fight for my life with everyone in the world, but this world would teach you what docility is and make you more and more docile. This is a rather vulgar drama. If I were sitting next to you and telling you this, you would probably spit at me. I dare not say that this is our helplessness, but it is our result. Later, Cece quit her job in the venue. I never asked her whether it was Nan's idea or she didn't want to do it anymore. There was no point in asking. She didn't come back to live here very often, but she still paid half of the rent. So that period was my darkest and loneliest time. Apart from Cece, I didn't have a true close friend, and I didn't dare to confide in anyone. I stay at home and sleep in the morning. After I get enough sleep in the afternoon, I go shopping or hang out in the internet cafe. At night, I put on makeup carefully and work hard. My life is still the same, but I'm lonely. Sometimes when I come home from get off work alone and look at the empty house, I suddenly feel a very pretentious and petty bourgeois emotion. I call it sadness. Every day I was immersed in this kind of sadness that makes me despise myself when I think about it now. One day, something suddenly happened, and it was that thing that determined many things that happened later. Speaking of that day, I really don't want to recall it. Counting on my fingers, that day can be regarded as the first of the 10 worst nights in my life. That afternoon, I was bored and went to an internet cafe. My online name was Red Enchanting. Whenever I was online, many strange men would contact me. I found a man who spoke in a decent manner, and we chatted for an entire afternoon. He called me sweetheart and I called him baby, just like an old married couple. Finally, baby said to me, "Sweetheart, let's have sex online. You call me J husband and I call you S wife, how about that?" Damn it. How can a man behave like this? Block him and log off the internet in anger. When I was going home, I was walking alone on the street, watching the people coming and going on the street, and I felt very sad. Looking at them, and then looking at myself, I always wanted to hide myself because I felt that I was not clean. When I was almost home, my cell phone rang. I looked at the number and was speechless. Lord. He had disappeared for almost a month. I thought he had forgotten me. Come over here. I just got off the plane. Then I said something very stupid, basically asking for trouble. Not so good. I have to go to work. Lord sneered. 3 times the price, come over. I still remember these 2 sentences. In fact, I always thought it was strange that people like Lord didn't have a few mistresses like college students, little stars, etc. so that they could eat whatever they wanted. It was so clean and convenient. At that time, the Lord said something that I have never forgotten. He said, "It is better to have a dog than a mistress. If I die, the dog will still bark a few times, but the mistress will run away with her bag, and she may even spit at me before leaving." I am not stupid. I said in my heart, "You can touch a dog's breasts? Besides, what kind of person are you? You don't respect others, and you expect others to respect you?" When I arrived at his place that day, he was eating by himself. When he saw me coming, he actually asked, "Have you eaten? If not, sit down and eat together." I was a little confused at the time, and I was hesitant between sitting down or not. Actually, I was very hungry at that time. I have never been reliable when it comes to eating. Basically, I eat when I am hungry and don't eat when I am not hungry. Lord seemed a little tired that day, and his eyes were gentle. He was not as scary as usual, nor as annoying. I was fooled by him and actually sat down. The food on the table was unexpectedly simple. It looked like Chinese fast food restaurant dishes and white rice. They were probably delivered from an outside fast food restaurant. Only then did I realize how stupid I was. I always thought that people like Lord should eat delicacies from land and sea every day, such as bird's nest, abalone, shark's fin, and fish maw, but it turned out not to be the case. At least the food in front of me is quite popular and close to the people. It is also because the food is simple that I feel more comfortable. If he gave me a lobster, I would not know how to cut it. While eating, Lord suddenly asked me if I had ever seen a movie premiere. He said that someone gave him 2 tickets, but he was too lazy to go, so he gave them to me if I liked it. He was talking about a very popular drama at the time, starring a famous Chinese actress. Actually, I don't like to watch premieres. I'm not a fan and have no interest in celebrities. But if they give you a chance, you have to take it. So I put on a crazy face and said, is it the one starring XXX? I like her very much. She has a great body. I've wanted to watch it for a long time." Lord glanced at me and snorted. "Her breasts are fake, her chin is cut, and she's not as good as you when she's naked." I almost choked to death. I asked him why he didn't want to go. It turns out he's seen other people naked and is aesthetically fatigued. I don't know what happened to me that day. I was so brave. Maybe he didn't look that fierce that day. Maybe it was because I hadn't said a decent word to anyone for too long, and there were a lot of things in my heart. so I had a special desire to communicate. I asked him a very stupid question. Is that why you came to me? Lord rolled his eyes. His expression seemed to say to me, is there anyone more stupid than you? But he did answer my question later, but not that day, but a long time later. He said it was because I was righteous. He didn't expect that people in our line of work would stand up for others, which made him feel a little fun. Yes, it was indeed fun. So he came to tease me. Jing hao gong hao. Lao zhang virji zheng li fa bo. After the meal, I took the initiative to clean up. In fact, I didn't do much cleaning. I just threw the lunchbox away and wiped the table. I was tidying up, and for some reason, Lord suddenly said to me, I saw your friend with Nan at XX Club a few days ago. Nan doesn't have a good reputation in our circle, especially in that aspect. If you have a good relationship with her, give her a heads up. I was stunned. Not a good reputation? Especially in that aspect? What does that mean? I subconsciously felt that it was not a good thing, but before I could ask, Lord ignored me, stretched his arms, and went upstairs. I was confused and worried about Cece. Suddenly, I remembered that she hadn't called me for several days. Could something have really happened to her? When I entered the bedroom, I was still thinking about this matter. But after entering, I couldn't help thinking about it. I guess everyone will look down on me after reading what happened next. This is the most painful scar in my heart. I hesitated again and again before writing this, because I knew that after writing it, someone would definitely scold me. Let them scold me. I can only say that everyone has times when they are confused. And I, at that time, was self-righteous and did something very, very stupid. The Lord was in a good mood that night. What I mean by being in a good mood is that he actually did foreplay with me. There was only one wall lamp on in the bedroom. As soon as I entered the room, he impatiently pushed me onto the bed, kissed my neck, licked my earlobes, and bit off my bra strap with his teeth. I couldn't stand this atmosphere. I was a little confused and said stupidly, I haven't taken a shower yet. I always felt that Lord might be a little bit of a germaphobe. Although I took a shower every day at home, every time before coming here to go to bed with him, he would ask me to go to the bathroom and rinse again. But he panted and said, no, I want it now. We were all confused that day. I won't tell you the details of the process to avoid people's imagination. But when we were doing it, I kept holding his back, and we were both very excited. Then in the chaos, I remember, he kissed me, and I was completely stunned. This was the first time he kissed me while doing that with me. This was also the first time I felt like I wasn't being fucked by a man, but was making love with a man, real love. I knew this was a stupid idea, but I didn't feel it at the time. Maybe it was because of the atmosphere, or something else. Anyway, I was confused. But at this moment, he suddenly left my mouth and came to my ear and ordered me. Scream. Scream for me. It was just this sentence, and everything went wrong afterwards. That sentence was like a bucket of cold water poured down on my head. My messy mind suddenly became clear. What was I doing? What was he doing? What was our relationship? That sentence reminded me clearly at that moment. He was whoring me, and I was being whored by him. We were the client and the prostitute, and we could only be the client and the prostitute. I was completely cold, and the whole world was empty. I wanted to stop, I wanted to stop, I wanted to stop. I felt an indescribable disgust in my heart. I didn't know whether I hated him or myself. But Lord won't stop, he's still hot. He didn't notice my change. Maybe he doesn't care at all. These little tricks I played on a whim today were just to make him feel more comfortable and satisfied when he was having sex with me. And I, a prostitute who travels around the entertainment industry, actually took these things seriously. I despise myself. I strongly despise myself. I always remember his expression at that time because his face was facing me, and I remember the sound he made when he climaxed. I still remember it until now. Some people say that in our industry you have to be heartless. I absolutely agree with this, really. If you have it, you can't live. Everyone, I don't want to say anything more today. The process of posting on Tianya is like removing scars from your body bit by bit, and every time it is bloody. It is also because of this that in the face of so many doubts and ridicules, I can still persist and continue to face it. because the most painful thing has been experienced and the rest is nothing. Every time I finish revealing it, the depression in my heart is relieved a little. Everyone thinks that prostitutes make money quickly, but do you know? In the industry of prostitutes, the most people are drug addicts and roller skaters. Because after experiencing the extravagance of life, when a person calms down, he cannot face himself. If you still have a heart, this feeling can drive you crazy. I don't want to take drugs, nor do I want to go crazy. I don't trust any psychologists. Instead of waiting for others to save me, I prefer to save myself. The process of self-salvation, as some friends say, is a kind of practice. I just hope that after I finish writing, I can achieve the right result and face my life again. Just like every time I come here before. First of all, I would like to thank all my friends who care about me and encourage me. A lot of your words make sense and make me feel much better. Then I want to tell those friends who have been struggling with names. Actually, I have already said it when I first posted the post. The names are just random. Recently, something has indeed touched me and made me want to talk about my own story. But I did not plagiarize anyone, nor am I a writer. Other people's novels are theirs, and my stories are mine. Although these things may seem ridiculous and even a little dramatic to you, think about it. Most people who post on Tianya have stories but have nowhere to tell them. If our lives are just about the daily necessities of life, why would we come here? I never thought that this post would be so successful. I never expected that it would attract so many people's attention. I won't say more about the rest. As I said before, you can read it as a novel, realistic literature, or a story. It depends on you. I just want to talk about this past experience. That's all. Today, I saw many friends say that I write well. Haha, I was really surprised by this. I read the posts on Tianya these 2 days. There are many posts that are better than mine. It's just that I'm well organized. This may be related to the fact that I liked to write diaries when I was in school, so I developed the habit of clear narration. Some friends are curious about my education background. Actually, this is a hurdle in my heart that I have never been able to overcome, but let's talk about this later. Also, I saw a lot of short messages today. Many friends want to add me as a friend and want to know more about me. Sorry I have said this before. I will not add anyone individually. Thank you for your concern, but please understand that I do this to protect myself. In addition, to those friends who say they are editors or directors, I have said that I do not want to publish books or make any movies. Whether it is true or not, please do not send me any more text messages. Lord was very strange that day. He did not go directly into the bathroom. Instead, he leaned against the bed and lit a cigarette. He looked at the ceiling very deeply, and I did not know what he was thinking. I guess he was not satisfied with my performance. I lay on the bed for a while, and then sat up. He looked at me with a sidelong look while holding a cigarette. What are you doing? Go home. Why are you always in a hurry? He roared and slapped me. I subconsciously closed my eyes. If a slap in the face could get me out of here right now, then I would accept it. If letting him beat me up would end all this, then I would be willing to take it. I just wanted to leave, find a place where no one was around, clean myself up, and lick my wounds. I know what kind of woman I am. I have never expected to be cherished by a man like him, but I can't let him play with my body and then play with my feelings. That would be too despicable. But the Lord didn't slap me. He stared at me with wide eyes, then put out his cigarette and turned off the wall lamp with a snap. Fuck. Go to sleep. He pulled up the quilt and lay down, leaving me sitting in the dark stupidly. I was stunned and didn't dare to provoke him again. He didn't play by the rules. He was too scary. He didn't let me go home that night and didn't touch me again. He didn't even take a shower. He turned over and went to sleep, taking up most of the bed, leaving me with his back. I was lying on his bed, feeling uncomfortable no matter how I lay. It was slippery and cold. I wanted to take a shower, but I was afraid of waking him up, so I just wiped myself with the tissues on the bedside. While wiping myself, I was thinking that I must remember to take the emergency contraceptive pill when I get home. Fortunately, it is effective within 72 hours. His bed was very soft, but I slept very unsteadily that night. Sometimes I saw Lord S.'s face, sometimes Cece's face, and sometimes Nan's face. All the things that happened during that period were mixed together, which made me very scared. I always had a bad premonition that something was going to happen. The next morning, Lord threw me a bank card.
I was stunned at the time.
All the men who go out to play know that there is an unwritten rule in our industry that all transactions must be made in cash. I have never seen anyone pay by credit card. It's too troublesome to give you cash every time. From now on, the money will be transferred to this card every month according to this amount. If there is more, you don't have to return it. If there is less, you will be repaid according to the number of times. Remember to turn on your phone 24 hours a day, and I will call you at any time. I understood now that this was a monthly card. He wanted me to change from retail to wholesale. I don't know how much money is in this card, but it is estimated that it will not be small because the Lord has an extremely arrogant expression on his face. I still remember his face at that time, a kind of indifference and arrogance that I cannot describe in words, exactly the same as when I first met him, indifferent and high-handed. What happened next may disappoint you. I didn't imitate those prostitutes with strong personalities in the movies and throw the card in his face. I also didn't smile indifferently like those noble prostitutes in the rumors, leaving a gorgeous back view for the man. I took my monthly card and left in a vulgar way, saying thank you before leaving. Because I know that if I leave this card, I can leave here sooner and get closer to my goal. In the end, I am a realist and I know what is best for me. I won't be hypocritical and tell you that I succumb to his power because I know that is definitely not all. I need money, and facing such a generous sponsor, I can't help but be tempted. If a man throws money at you, you will feel very painful and lose your dignity, but it is true that in our circle, some ladies want to be hit on, but they may not have such an opportunity. This is our reality, the reality of prostitutes, the reality of life. Maybe not all, but it is what I see every day and experience personally. Some people think that the world laughs at poverty but not at prostitutes, but I don't think so. Because I know that you must look down on me in your heart. Lord also looks down on me in his heart, and I look down on myself. After returning home, I took the medicine and called Cece, and the call was connected quickly. Cece answered and told me that she was very good, but I didn't know whether her good was true or false. I said I wanted to see her, and Cece said, "Rose, then come to my house. I'll wait for you at home." Her home? She has a home? Her home with Nan? Cece told me an address, and I found the place according to the address. Yes, it was the small villa she left for me later. I won't tell you the details, you know. I arrived at the place and rang the doorbell, and it was the little nanny who opened the door for me. When I saw Cece, she was wearing a white home dress, and her long straight hair was curled into big waves. She was a little charming, a little mature, and a little not suitable for her. Fortunately, she was in good spirits. At least I didn't see anything wrong with her at the time. She was very happy to see me, and kept holding my hand and asking me how I was doing recently. I didn't tell the truth, nor did I dare to tell the truth. What else can I do? I'll just live like that. I laughed a few times and turned the topic to her. I say, your villa is so beautiful. You guys are living a good life, right? In fact, I was quite conflicted at the time. I wanted her to be very frivolous and show off to tell me how happy she is now. But I knew that if that happened, I would definitely feel disappointed and jealous. But I don't want her to have a bad life, because if she doesn't have a good life, I will definitely be sad and feel sorrowful, and will think of myself, and thinking of myself will make me even sadder. Cece had an expression on her face that I couldn't describe, a little tired, a kind of tiredness that I couldn't explain, and it seemed a little sad. But why was it sad? I couldn't understand. He treats me very well. He hired a nanny at home, and he takes good care of my food and clothing. This villa is also in my name. I was really surprised when I heard her say that. I looked around and said stupidly, "This house, this location, it must be worth at least a few million. It's great. He is very generous." Cece smiled and said nothing more. I felt very embarrassed at the time. I didn't like myself very much. How could I be like a country bumpkin who had never seen the world? It was so embarrassing. I cleared my throat and tried to save face. I said, "You are about to graduate. What are your plans for the future? Are you going to get married?" Cece lowered her eyes and looked at the teacup in her hand. "He is a fiancé and has been engaged for several years.
He will not marry me.
I have dropped out of school and I can't continue studying. Now, I just live one day at a time. I am too lazy to think about it." I looked at her with my mouth open. I was very surprised. I was so surprised. I was surprised not because Nan couldn't marry Cece, nor because she dropped out of school. I was surprised because of the desperate tone and attitude Cece used when she spoke. Cece, who hugged me and said she wanted to live a decent life on her own? Is this the Cece who would rather be slapped than sell herself out for money? It's only been a few months. How could she become like this? I suddenly realized that the situation seemed to be heading in a very bad and cliched direction. I always thought that Cece would be different from others, at least different from me. Who was wrong between us? I walked very fast that day. I felt suffocated, as if something was blocking my chest, making it difficult for me to breathe. Before I left, I still told her what the Lord said. I was afraid that she would suffer a loss, but I couldn't think of how she could suffer a loss from that man. On the surface, she is living a good life now. Many women yearn for this kind of life, like a Persian cat, with fine clothes and delicious food, and living a muddle-headed life. But I know that Nan has ruined her. I said, "Cece, I heard that Nan has bad rumors in the circle, so you should be careful. Be more cautious and don't trust him too much." Anyway, I didn't know what else I could say. Take care of yourself and call me if you have any urgent matters.
I left after I said that day.
After that, I didn't see her for a long time and she didn't contact me either. I occasionally called her and she just asked about my recent situation briefly and basically didn't mention her own situation. Even if she did, she would just perfunctorily say a few words, saying that she was fine. So most of the time, I had to work hard to get news about her from some experts in the industry, but most of it was hearsay. Some people said that Nan bought a studio for a lover. Some people said that Nan was going to send a lover to study abroad. Some people said that Nan broke up with his fiancée because of this lover. This is a bit far-fetched. Some people said that Nan's lover suffered from depression. Some people also said that she committed suicide. Nan's little lover became a legend in the scene, but no one took it seriously because there were too many such legends every year, but most of them were not publicized, so the public didn't know about it. Only people in the circle knew about it. I don't know which of these rumors are true and which are false. I also don't know whether this lover is Cece or one of Nan's other mistresses. But I know that if Cece was alive, no one would tell me, but if she died, someone would definitely tell me. No one told me at that time, so she was not dead. I also knew that this legend would be like those pink legends that had appeared in the scene before, appearing overnight and then disappearing, just like morning dewdrops that could not withstand the scorching sun. During that time, I was in a bad mood. Looking back, it was the lowest point in my life. Winter is gone, spring is here, and the weather in Beijing is getting warmer day by day, but my heart is always empty.
There are still gossips in the place.
There is an old saying that goes, 3 women make a drama. Such a big place, with so many women, is a lively stage. Legend has it that a lady stole a customer's wallet. This is actually a lie. Our place is very strict about this matter. Besides, as long as you are relaxed, most ladies here are not short of money, so there is no need to do that. Then some people say that she didn't steal it but was framed. Legend has it that a sister was robbed on her way home and had her face scratched by the knife of the robber. It is said that there was something fishy going on, and the father of the fiancé of a certain senior executive's son was the real mastermind. Legend has it that a sister made enough money and returned to her hometown to start a new life. She opened a clothing store, and her business was pretty good. Rumors are often true or false, but most of them are unreliable. I don't know which ones are true and which ones are false. But I hope from the bottom of my heart that the last rumor is true. Lord's money is deposited into that card on time every month, and I withdraw it on time and deposit it into my own account. I admit that I do this because I don't feel safe. If the money is not written in my own name, I worry that it will disappear. At first, I thought that although I was doing wholesale, it should be a relatively easy job. A man like him has so many women around him. Even if I wanted to see the emperor every day, he would not be happy. Later, I realized that I was completely wrong.
Wrong.
He was really a calculating lord who would never waste a penny off his own money. At first, it was twice a week, then 3 times, and then 4 times. Later, as long as he was in the capital, I had to clean myself up and wait for his summons at any time. I went to his place more and more often, and his attitude became worse and worse. He used to say something nice to me, but later on he didn't even say a nice word. He still liked to torment me in different positions, but he never kissed me or let Mesty overnight. Every time he tormented me, I felt that he wanted to kick me off Thebes, let me roll out like a ball, and immediately disappear from his noble eyes. So every time I finished with him, I thought, he shouldn't have given me the card. The numbers on the card are too abstract, and there is no actual shock. He should have thrown a bunch of banknotes directly at my face. That's called throwing money at people. How brave. #official account. Lao Zhuang diary arrangement and release. I think I am not the most smooth talking in the nightclub, but I am also a well-behaved and sensible one. But in front of him, I become a piece of wood, and all the means of coaxing men are ineffective. Whatever I say is wrong, and whatever I do is wrong. His eyes were so sharp that he could tell when you were being sincere and when you were being fake. Being with such a person was very stressful because you never knew when he would turn hostile. So during that time, I was so depressed, and a big part of the reason was because of him. Then I slowly discovered that the Lord didn't need me to coax him with false affection, nor did he need me to use those charming tricks. What he wanted was the real me, whether I was crying, laughing, angry, or sad. In his words, this city is too fake. Fake feelings, fake intentions, fake breasts, fake faces, fake smiles, fake masks. If even the things in bed are fake, what's the point? When he said those words to me, I realized for the first time that he was such a thorough person. Actually, if you think about it carefully, Lord is stronger than Nan. He is direct in doing whatever he wants to do. He is a beast if he wants to do it, and a beast if he wants to do it. Unlike Nan, he always uses shady tricks. Of course, Cece and I are also different. Cece is the kind of person who is very proud and can't stand others throwing money at her. Most of the time, she still wants to rely on herself. But I am different. When others throw money at me, I faint. Even though he tossed and turned in bed like that, he occasionally saw me in the place, always passing by me with his arms around me, holding his noble head high, never paying attention to me, not even looking at me, as if I were a passerby. I completely understand this. For someone like him, if it were to be reported that they had a prostitute, assuming, of course, that someone dared to report it, it would not be a glorious thing. Actually, in that kind of place, he treated me like this. I felt comfortable, and sometimes I had an indescribable feeling because I actually shared a secret with such a person, a secret that no one else knew and could know. About 2 months after I met Cece that time, one afternoon, Nan called me and told me that Cece was in the hospital. She took a bottle of sleeping pills, but fortunately, it was discovered in time and the stomach was washed in the hospital. She was fine, but her spirit was very bad. He said that he had something else to do and asked me if I could go to the hospital to see her. I hung up the phone and went straight to the hospital. On the way there, I thought a lot. I was surprised at my calmness, as if I had foreseen all this. I was surprised at my indifference. When I heard the news, I didn't feel any emotion at all. But the moment I saw her, I still broke down. It turned out that all my previous indifference was just a disguise, temporarily numbing my pain nerves, but when IRL I faced it, I still felt pain, and it hurt so much. Cece was like a different person. Her face was pale, haggard, tired and dim. I could hardly recognize her. It was only half ire. How could that man make her like this? I wanted to say something to her, but when she saw me coming, she didn't react at all. I felt very sad at the time, so sad that I couldn't describe it. I held her hand, sat by the bed, and cried silently, looking at her silently. I was so excited at the time that I had only one thought in my mind. If she was willing, I would take her away, no matter who stopped me, no matter what the price. I will take her away as long as she was willing to go with me. Now thinking about it, I was so naive. I stayed with her that afternoon, watching her get in for drip, without saying a word, because I knew that Cece would want me to be quiet, not to pity her current situation, and not to accuse her of not taking care of herself. She had had enough. I asked the nurse to change the medicine for her once. Her hands were very thin and cold, so I used my own hands to warm hers, hoping that she would feel warmer and more comfortable. I forgot how long we were facing each other that day. I only remember that she finally spoke to me later, but the content of her speech made me so sad. She said, "Rose, don't bother me anymore. My life is over, completely over." I cried when I heard it and choked up and said, "Cece, don't think too much. When you get better, I will take you away. I have some money now and we can go wherever we want." She looked at me and smiled very sadly. "Rose, do you know? In fact, I am a very proud person. I always think that I am better than you all, and I always think that I am different from you. When we first met, I even looked down on you. I thought that you were very bad for being so servile to men for that little money. But now I understand that you are the best person to me, and you are the one who is truly qualified to be proud. Compared with you, I am like a small wooden stick. If others bend it, I will break." I held her hand and said, "Silly girl, why are you being so hypocritical with me? Aren't you still alive? When you get better, let's leave that bastard and start over." "Okay." Cece shook her head. "It's too late. Everything is too late. I thought he was really good to me. Even if he didn't marry me, I would accept it since I met him. I should just live a down-to-earth life. But now I know that it's not the case at all. Now I know that you are right. People like us should not take ourselves too seriously. It's a pity that I didn't know it before, but now I know it. But everything is too late." I don't think I understand what she means. She said it was too late, but what was too late? She could start over. Why did she say it was too late? I wanted to say something to her, but Cece closed her eyes. "Rose, please go. I can go. I can't leave him. I can't leave him. I am like this." Then she ignored me. This was the last time I saw Cece. She was desperate at the time, a despair that came from her bones. I knew she was a strong girl, and I thought that after she was desperate, she would be able to live her life and not go down this path. But until she died, I realized how stupid my thoughts were at the time. After returning from the hospital, I was in a very low mood, and then something happened when I was at work at night. That night, I was working in a private room with a popular top star in the place, Theon, who is known as the XX Queen. That incident was also my fault because I was absent-minded at the time, and when I was pouring wine for the customer, I accidentally spilled the wine on her skirt. This card was also shady. I guess she thought I did it on purpose. She didn't say anything at the time and smiled and said, "It's okay. Just let me accompany her to the bathroom to wipe it off." I accompanied her out, but as soon as I left the house, she pointed at my nose and cursed. "You dare to spill wine on me. Who the hell do you think you are?" I was furious. I usually don't cause trouble, but I don't know what got me angry that day, so I cursed her back. "Who the hell do you think you are? Are you a star? Aren't you just a prostitute with legs spread out waiting for money?" My words were quite mean. Isn't it said that you shouldn't hit someone in the face and don't expose their shortcomings when you scold them? So this top girl was furious and slapped me in the face.
Fuck.
Who's afraid of a slap? I was about to fight back when I saw Lord coming out of a box with a phone in his hand and walking towards us. I didn't know when he came, but the moment I saw him, I was stunned. Slapping a bitch and pulling her hair in front of him. Isn't it too ugly? While I was thinking about all this, Lord had walked past me as usual, holding his noble head high, still looking as arrogant as an emperor. Without even looking at me, I was not surprised. I really was not surprised at all. But I felt uncomfortable. I don't know why, at that moment, I felt so uncomfortable. I knew he saw it, and I also knew he would not care about me, but I still felt uncomfortable. Our top card crossed her hands like a fairy, snorted, "Uneducated bitch. You deserve a lesson." After saying that, she twisted her butt and went into the box. After she went in, I remembered that the slap I received was in vain. I took a deep breath at the door, adjusted myself, pushed the door open, and walked in with a smile. "Don't have too many fantasies about me and Lord." I said that what happened next was very bloody and vulgar. In our place, it is common for prostitutes to be kept by others. It's just that my situation with Sissy is a little special, but it's just a different beginning. The beginning is different, but the ending is the same.